So why did I take a gap year? And do I still think it was a good idea? Let's find out. Good morning everyone and welcome back to the channel. So I think a good place to start would be defining what a gap year is in case you somehow don't know what it is. So basically a gap year is when you take a year off, or usually a year, if it's more than a year. No, I don't know of anyone who takes more than a year off, but I guess you'd still probably call it a gap year or a gap period. Gap period's probably better for that one. Anyway, not important, gap year. So it's when you take a year off between, say, high school, and usually it refers to that break between that and like university, college, trade school, medical school, just between your early life and just some sort of later education. So now that's out of the way, let's talk about why I did it. So I think a good place to start would be what I told people the reason was that I did it for. So at the time, I was really bad at talking to people. I'm still not great, but I'm getting better. I noticed I say a lot, and I've been trying to cut those out. So, yeah, it's getting better. Anyway, so the reason I told people that I was taking a gap year was so that I could practice programming, things like that. I thought to myself that I was going to, but at the time, I didn't really have as much discipline as I do now. I'd still been used to that high school life where you'd be told to do something and then you'd get it done. I would always find excuses to not get stuff done until the last second, so that's pretty much what ended up happening. I think I might have read a bit of Python stuff like towards the end of the year, but that's pretty much it. I didn't have a job at the start. I think that was a really bad idea. If you're going to take a gap year yourself, make sure you have a job. Otherwise, you're probably just going to sit around playing video games all the time. I ended up getting my first job about 6 months in. I've talked about that job in a video I'll put up here, whichever side cards appear on, I'm not sure. But I've talked about that job before, it was awful. But it was getting me outside of the house and getting me just to work a bit. At the time, it was a good job because of the original store manager, but afterwards it changed. Pretty much once I started uni, it had gotten worse. But anyway, so the reason I actually took the gap year was I was completely sick of education at the time. I just finished high school. I didn't really feel like doing anything with my time. I just wanted to play video games and relax for a bit. So I know that I made it sound like there was some like deep, meaningful reason for it. No, I just wanted to play video games. And I played lots of video games. I watched lots of anime as well. So once I got into uni, that was a very different life shift rather than coming straight out of high school. But I feel like I learned something very important. So with the people who went into uni just after coming out of high school, they seem to all still be complaining about high school kind of drama. And I was there with some of the older students being like, what are you complaining about? This assignment is so hard, this and that. Like, okay, get a job. Stop complaining. You'll find harder things in your life. Get over it. I still kind of hold that mentality now, but it's considerably stronger. Stop complaining about high school drama. No one cares. You'll get over it. You're only 17. You'll find harder things in your life. You'll find better things in your life. Stop worrying about it. Sure, that would get me some hate comments later on when there's some more viewers and they come back and see this video. But I don't care. Stop complaining about high school drama. Listen to the 21-year-old. He knows what he's talking about. He's had so much life experience. But anyway, so I still think that it was a good idea to take that gap year. Just because at the time, there's no way I could have gone back into education. I would have dropped out pretty much in the first year. So I needed that time off just to recuperate a little bit. But if I was to go back and do something different, this is honestly something I've thought about for a while. I wish I had a job back in high school. Because I just played video games all the time in high school. And then when I had that gap year, I just continued playing video games and didn't really do anything productive. And another thing that I would go back and do is definitely make sure that I'm actually using my time effectively. I've only really realized that this year. It's taken me another 4 years after finishing high school to realize how valuable my time is and how I should actually be using it productively to do something, not just like I still play video games, I still watch anime. Video games I don't play much. I've been playing Tales of Berseria, and I maybe get like 3-4 hours a week in. And this takes up some of my anime time, and I actually kind of enjoy this more than some of these series that I was watching. So it's not like it's a drawback. I actually enjoyed this more so than some of that. There's some series that I actually do want to do a video on something, but it's not important. I'm rambling now. I'll get back to that. Add another video. I want to make some anime videos. Not right now. Right now is gap year. I still think that it was definitely an amazing idea to take that gap year. But yeah, as I said, I would need to definitely go back and make some very important changes so that I was effectively using that time. Because if I had actually gone into uni, doing a year of Python or C# or whatever, Java maybe, and actually using that time effectively and properly learning those languages before I go in, I would have just walked right through first year without any trouble at all. But as it stands, I ended up struggling a lot because even though I had done Java before, I hadn't done it properly. So I think that might be pretty much everything. I don't really have a ton else to talk about for my gap year. Oh, no, one thing. Don't take anything that I say as like, you should go and take a gap year. Think about it for yourself. Talk it through with your family or whoever you want to talk about it with. Make sure you actually understand what you're doing. Don't just take a gap year off to play video games or do it. I'm just a web developer from Australia. I can't tell you what to do. But don't take anything I say as advice. If you want to do it yourself and know why you're doing it. So, I think that is pretty much everything then. If you liked the video, remember to like and subscribe and hit the little bell icon below if you want to see more from my channel. And I think that might be pretty much everything. I'm out.